Mr. President, your administration separated children from their parents at the border, at least 4,000 kids. You've since reversed your zero-tolerance policy, but the United States can't locate the parents of more than 500 children. So how will these families ever be reunited?
Children are brought here by coyotes and lots of bad people, cartels, and they're brought here, and they used to use them to get into our country. We now have as strong a border as we've ever had. We're over 400 miles of brand new wall. You see the numbers, and we let people in, but they have to come in legally, and they come in through merit.
But how will you reunite these kids with their families,
let me just tell you,
Mr. President?
They built cages. You know, they used to say, I built the cages, and then they had a picture in a certain newspaper, and it was a picture of these horrible cages, and they said, look at these cages. President Trump built them, and then it was determined they were built in 2014. That was him.
I'll be president of the United States, not vice president of the United States. And the fact is, I've made it very clear. Within 100 days, I'm going to send to the United States Congress a pathway to citizenship for over 11 million undocumented people. And all of those so-called dreamers, those DACA kids, they're going to be immediately certified again to be able to stay in this country and put on a path to citizenship. The idea that they are being sent home by this guy, and they want to do that, is they've gone to a country they've never seen before. I can imagine you're 5 years old, your parents are taking you across the Rio Grande River, and it's illegal. And you say, oh no, Mom, leave me here. I'm not going to go with you. They've been here. Many of them are model citizens. Over 20,000 of them are first responders out there taking care of people during this crisis. We owe them. We owe them.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about the woke Biden administration and their open border policies that are destroying this country, okay? We're seeing the consequences of Biden letting illegal immigrants into this country, just letting them stay, go wherever they want to go. And this is particularly concerning when it comes to some illegal immigrants that Biden is letting stay in the country. Like, for example, criminals from Venezuela, okay? This is something that I've talked about before with you guys. Trump has talked about it. We've said, listen, they are letting in people from certain countries, like, again, Venezuela, that are criminals, because Venezuela is essentially letting their criminals leave and go to the United States. In fact, I'll never forget getting a message on Instagram from this Venezuelan girl living in Europe, I believe, and she told me, she was like, listen, most of the gang members, they've left Venezuela to go to the United States because they know how easy it is to not only get into the country, but also to stay, right? And that has negative consequences. We've seen it before multiple times, whether it be the Laken Riley incident in which she was murdered by an illegal immigrant in the college town that she lived in that happened to be a sanctuary city. Okay, so the guy was allowed to stay there because it's a sanctuary city. They don't go after illegals. If you look at the situation in New York City, you had NYPD police officers get jumped by illegal immigrants. And now you have another situation out of New York City where 2 NYPD police officers were shot by an illegal immigrant who happens to be from Venezuela, probably a part of one of these gangs that are now operating in the United States. Everything about this story is a strong sign that, yes, this is probably some type of gang activity. Take a look.
Breaking news overnight, 2 NYPD officers shot in East Elmhurst, Queens.
The shooting happened early this morning, actually around 1:30, sending both of the officers to the hospital. Let's get right to Good Day's Briella Tomasetti. She is live outside the Elmhurst Hospital with the latest, including Briella. The mayor just held a press conference. What did we learn from that?
Yeah, he did. Tashani and Dan, good morning to both of you. We have a lot of new details to share with you at this hour. So the mayor and Edward Caban, the police commissioner, actually were visiting those 2 injured officers at their bedsides here at Elmhurst Hospital before coming downstairs to address the media. In emotional remarks, Mayor Adams held up one of the cops' bulletproof vests. He showed it to everybody there in the audience and said, this is the reason that officer is going home to his family. Again, one officer shot in the leg, the other in the torso in that bulletproof vest. Both of those officers are expected to recover. Let's backtrack for a moment to the scene of what happened here. We're learning more about the suspect. Police say he is a 19-year-old Venezuelan migrant. The shooting happening at about 1:40 this morning near the intersection of 89th Street and 23rd Avenue. Those two uniformed officers were working to address a robbery pattern in the area involving mopeds and scooters. That's when they were met by that 19-year-old suspect. Police Commissioner Edward Caban explaining what happened next.
They observed a male suspect drive a moped the wrong way on 82nd Street near 23rd Avenue and attempted to pull him over. The suspect then fled on foot, and the officers began a foot pursuit which led for several blocks. During the pursuit, the suspect fired multiple rounds at our officers, who then returned fire.
Yeah, you heard the commissioner there saying that the officers returned fire. The suspect was struck in the ankle. He was taken to New York Presbyterian Queens Hospital to be treated for his injuries. He is also in stable condition, and a gun was recovered at the scene. The suspect, we're told, entered the country in 2023. He has no prior arrests here in New York City, but he is wanted for several robberies involving mopeds and scooters. Again, that is what those two cops were investigating at the time this all happened. The officers and their families, we're told, are in very good spirits. This could have ended a lot worse. Thankfully, it didn't. The gun recovered at the scene, by the way, police are saying it is illegal. That's the very latest, though, live here outside of Elmhurst Hospital. Dana Tashani will send it back inside to you.
Yeah, so here you have taxpayer dollars being used to house and feed this illegal immigrant just for him to turn around and commit crimes and to rob people and to steal and to be a part of what appears to be a gang. Police are investigating this situation, and they end up getting shot, okay, by this Venezuelan migrant who, again, decided that, hey, it'd be a good idea to try to shoot police officers. Well, I mean, you know, this is what happens when you're committing crimes and you don't want to get caught. And you know that if you get caught, you're going to get sent back to your country. Maybe not in New York City. Probably not. Probably most likely not. I mean, again, that is kind of the point of sanctuary city status, is to allow illegal immigrants, particularly those that commit crimes, to not be deported by ICE, right? That literally is the whole point of the whole sanctuary city policy. So it's essentially what you have happening here is that you have Biden letting these so-called asylum seekers into the country, and then they go to cities like New York City, a sanctuary city, where they know they can commit crimes, and they may or may not get deported. Who knows, okay? But this is what some of them are doing. The criminals are taking advantage of the system to come into the country, because all you have to do is go to the border, get on your knees, and say, hey, I'm hungry, right? And I'm escaping political persecution. I would like to seek asylum, and Biden is just going to let you in, okay? And nobody should be surprised by this, because back during Biden's 2020 campaign, during a debate with Trump, he said that this is what he was going to do. He was totally fine with allowing asylum seekers to come into the country, okay, if they just come to the border and say, hey, I need asylum. Can I please come in? And Trump, like the fortune teller that he seems to be, was warning, no, this is not good policy, right? This is not what we should be doing. These people never show up to their court date. Once you catch them and you release them into the country, it's done. It's over with. They're just going to stay. And again, there's problems with that, because you're letting all types of people into this country. We don't really know who they are, and that can cause issues.
This is the first president in the history of the United States of America that anybody seeking asylum has to do it in another country. That's never happened before in America. That's never happened before in America. You come to the United States and you make your case that I seek asylum based on the following premise: why I deserve it under American law. They're sitting in squalor on the other side of the river.
President Trump, your response,
so
30
important.
seconds, and then we'll move
It just shows that he has no understanding of immigration or the laws. Catch and release is a disaster. A murderer would come in, a rapist would come in, a very bad person would come in. We would take their name. We have to release them into our country. And then you say they come back. Less than 1% of the people come back. We have to send ICE out and Border Patrol out to find them. We would say, come back in 2 years, 3 years. We're going to give you a court case. You need Perry Mason. We're going to give you a court case. When you say they come back, they don't come back, Joe. They never come back. Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ, they might come back.
Okay,
But they're
President
very,
Trump, let's
very
give
few.
Vice President Biden a chance to respond, and then we're going to move on to the
You
next
don't know
section.
the law, Joe.
Vice President Biden, your response.
Know the law. What he's telling you is simply not true.
Well, check it out. They don't come back.
Check it out.
I need Trump to give me some lottery ticket numbers, right? I'm so serious. This guy seems to be a prophet when it comes to predicting the disasters that will happen as a result of Democrat policies. Again, during that debate, the mainstream liberal media covered Trump as a xenophobe, okay? He's racist. He don't like Latinos and Hispanics. You know, this is the way they cover it. But what Trump was talking about was common sense. He was saying, listen, you can't just catch and release these people. We don't know who they are. We have to vet them. They need to wait in another country, right? Which was the point of remain in Mexico. You need to remain in Mexico until we can figure out who the hell you are before we can let you into our country. But of course, that just makes too much sense, right? And anything that is common sense is antithetical to the Democrats and the progressives, right? So again, lo and behold, we get Biden as president. And look at the situation that we have. But the reality is that this is what the Democrats want, okay? This is their intent. They want to let as many illegals into the country as possible and then to give them amnesty, right? And again, the only reason Biden hasn't officially done it, okay, out loud in public is because he knows that it will cost him the election. But secretly, he is offering mass amnesty to migrants as he quietly terminates 350,000 asylum cases. And this is according to the New York Post. Okay, so this is what they're saying. They're saying, listen, behind closed doors, silently, Biden is executing the Democrat plan, which is to allow as many illegals and immigrants to the country as possible. And this allowed them to stay permanently, right? This is what he's doing. While the Biden administration is attempting to look like it's getting tough on the border, behind the scenes, it's operating a program of mass amnesty for migrants, the Post can reveal. Data show that since 2022, more than 350,000 asylum cases filed by migrants have been closed by the U.S. government if the applicants don't have a criminal record or are otherwise not deemed a threat to the country. Yeah, so again, what they're doing is that they're saying, okay, well, if you don't have a record, okay, as far as we know, okay, you can just come in, right? We're just going to close your case. We're not going to look into it. Again, this is why they want more money, guys. They want more money so they can do more stuff like this. They can process these illegal immigrants into the country faster as asylum seekers, okay? And it's not to try to deport anybody faster. No. It's to let them in faster. This is what they want. This means that while the migrants are not granted or denied asylum, their cases are terminated without a decision on the merits of their asylum claim. They are removed from the legal system and no longer required to check in with authorities. Yeah, so amnesty, basically, okay? De facto, hey, yeah, you can come in, right? We're going to let you stay here forever. The move allows them to legally, indefinitely roam the United States without fear of deportation, effectively letting them slip through the cracks. Quote, this is just a massive amnesty under the guise of prosecutorial discretion, according to Andrew Arthur, a former immigration judge who works for the Center for Immigration Studies. Quote, you're basically allowing people who don't have a right to be in the United States to be here indefinitely, he added to the Post. Well, that's the plan, right? This is what they want, because we know that the more illegals that come into the country, especially if they go to Democrat states, that helps the Democrats when it comes to their power in Congress, right? It helps them win elections. It helps them get more seats in the House, okay, which ultimately I believe carries over into the Electoral College, right? This is what it's a part of, okay? And then eventually, once these people are granted, amnesty, they can stay here, and then eventually they become citizens or they have children. Those people end up being Democrat Party voters. The Democrats are playing a long game with this, okay? Quote, please let everyone know what's really going on, an ICE officer told the Post. In 2020, during the Trump administration, 48,000 migrants were removed from the United States by immigration court judges. Fewer than 20,000 people were granted asylum, and 4,700 people had their cases closed or were otherwise allowed to remain in the country, according to data collected by the Transactional Records Access Clearinghouse. In 2022, under Biden, a memo issued by ICE's principal legal advisor, Carrie Dole, and seen by the Post, instructed prosecutors at the agency to allow cases to be dismissed for migrants who aren't deemed national security threats. That year, 36,000 were ordered removed, 32,000 were awarded asylum, and 102,555 had their cases dismissed or otherwise taken off the books, 10 times the number in 2014. Yeah, so again, Biden's just ratcheting it up, right? He claimed, well, I was vice president then, right, under the Obama administration. Well, it seems as if Obama was tougher on the border than Biden, right? Biden becomes president, and it seems like he kind of forgot how Obama was doing things when he was president, right? When he was in office. It's kind of funny how that worked, which kind of explains why Biden and the mainstream liberal media forgot about the cages that were built under the Obama administration, right? They tend to forget about that type of stuff, right? It all makes sense now. In 2023, there were 149,000 cases in this latter category. And so far in financial year 2024, which ends September 30th, the numbers are certain to surpass that, with 114,000 cases closed already. Since Biden assumed office, 77% of asylum seekers have been allowed to remain in the country, according to track. That equates to 499,000 of the 648 who applied for asylum in the U.S. in that time. The current backlog of asylum cases stands at 3.5 million, and shaving more than 100,000 people a year off it makes the administration look better, sources told The Post. Yeah, so they're cooking the books, right? They're cooking the books in order to make it seem like that they're actually getting through these cases, that they're doing their jobs, right, and actually vetting these people, but they're not. They're just letting them in, and they're saying, hey, look, well, you know, we're just going to let you go, okay, and we're not going to come after you, and welcome to America, right? This is what they're doing. Once cases are closed, migrants are no longer in removal proceedings and subject to deportation, the government's default position for all migrants admitted at the border. The migrants are under no obligation to leave the U.S., and once cases are dismissed, the person is no longer monitored by ICE and required to regularly check in with them, unlike those still pursuing asylum claims. Quote, if the case gets dismissed, you're basically back to nothing, Washington-based immigration lawyer Hector Quiroga told The Post, clarifying that migrants with dismissed cases cannot receive benefits or a work permit. But eventually they will, right? Eventually they will get a work permit. Eventually they will get benefits, because that's the plan from the Democrat Party. And this is why I try to tell you guys, it is so important to go out and to vote against Biden, because this issue of illegal immigration. What's going to happen, because these liberal Democrat mayors are begging the Biden administration and Democrats to do this. They're begging them, hey, we want these migrants to be able to work, okay? We want them to receive benefits because it's cost us too much money to take care of them. And Biden is like, listen, just wait until I'm reelected. Wait until after the election, and I'm going to do it, okay? I'm going to grant work authorization permits. I'm going to grant mass amnesty, and I'm going to give benefits to the illegal immigrants, and they're going to be staying here permanently, and they're going to be getting jobs, okay? And that's going to be the end of the story if Biden is reelected. I'm so serious. If you think the problem is bad now, just wait until Biden is reelected, if he's reelected. So let's hope that he's not reelected, right? Let's hope that we don't get to that point where we find out how bad it's going to be, because I'm telling you, this is a part of the plan. This is why he is silently granting amnesty to these people coming into this country, because that is a part of what they want to do. This is a part of the Democrat strategy, right? They're pretending to be tough on the border. They're pretending that, oh yeah, I'm going to do something about it, right before the election. But after the election, again, it's going to be a situation where they will be allowed to do whatever they want to do, because they don't have to worry about the consequences of it anymore in regards to losing votes. And ultimately, again, that's what's going to happen. So again, stories like this are a reminder that the border is a serious situation, no matter how much the mainstream liberal media wants to ignore it, or they want to pretend like the numbers are getting better just because Mexico is doing a slightly better job at not allowing illegal immigrants to just travel through their country, right? And they're supposed to be doing their job in helping us not have all these people come to the border. Mexico's doing a better job, right? But again, at the border itself, the Biden administration, they want people to come in, okay? They're totally fine with the people that get to the border just coming right on in and just staying in the United States until the Democrats decide to let them stay permanently, let them work, give them benefits, and then they can get integrated into the system. And eventually, again, they can help the Democrats secure more power and control over this country. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.